A Russian court has found WNBA star Brittney Griner guilty of drug smuggling. Now, that's interesting because she was arrested and charged with smuggling after Russian authorities discovered a spent vape cartridge with a little bit of cannabis oil in her luggage at a Moscow airport. So now she pleaded guilty in order to try to get a more lenient sentence. However, prosecutors in Russia demanded that she be sentenced to 9 years and 6 months in prison, and appears that she will very likely get 9 years. So let me just say this. That is insane. Insane. It's cannabis oil. Now, Russia, of course, has very draconian laws, and to be fair, on the federal level, so does the United States. Look, if only we had someone in power who could, potentially change that, so that maybe we would have a leg to stand on when it comes to this. But there's more to it. What's going on here is that this is political. Now, look, the United States loves locking people up, especially people of color, for, drug offenses, right? But political. The United States is backing Ukraine, sending them weapons, money, supplies to a country that Russia has invaded. Now, the United States has also placed crippling sanctions on Russia. So it seems to me a situation where Russia has basically taken out their frustrations toward the U.S. on Griner. And so ahead of the verdict, she apologized to the court and pleaded for leniency, saying, "I made an honest mistake, and I hope in your ruling, it does not end my life." Now, the reason, of course, that I believe that they're pushing, they're really throwing the book at Griner is because the fact that she's an American. But she said, "I wanted to apologize to my teammates, my club, my fans, and the city for my mistake that I made and the embarrassment that I brought on them. I want to apologize to my parents, my siblings, the Phoenix Mercury organization back at home, the amazing women of the WNBA, and my amazing spouse back home." I don't think she did anything wrong. Oh, but it's the law in Russia. I don't give a fuck about Russia's laws. Oh, yeah. I don't care. I don't care. It's stupid. It's a dumb law. And to get and why she was targeted for this, she is a political prisoner. Does anybody actually believe that she was smuggling drugs into Russia in order to harm Russians? Again, this is simple possession of a cartridge, a vape cartridge. That's it. And it was for her own personal medical use. You've got to be an idiot to believe that. And when it comes to idiots, this leads me to Donald Trump, who said this during a podcast.
She went in there loaded up with drugs into a hostile territory where they're very vigilant about drugs. They don't like drugs. And she got caught. And now we're supposed to get her out. And she makes a lot of money, I guess. But we're supposed to get her out for a absolute killer and one of the biggest arms dealers in the world. Killed many Americans, killed many people. And he's going to get a free card. And we're going to get her. She knew you don't go in there loaded up with drugs. And she admitted it. I assume she admitted it without too much force because it is what it is. And it certainly doesn't seem like a very good trade, does it? He's an absolute one of the worst in the world, and he's going to be given his freedom because a potentially spoiled person goes into Russia loaded up with drugs.
Oh, she was loaded up with drugs. So many drugs. Okay, she had one used cartridge of cannabis oil that she accidentally put into her bag. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. No, this guy, where do you even start? Now, again, Brittney Griner is an American citizen. Shouldn't we, I don't know, work to get all American citizens back? I mean, wouldn't that make sense? And it's funny because there are Republicans out there saying, well, if Trump were in charge, we would already have Brittney Griner back. Oh, would we? You just listen to that. Look, she wasn't, again, with Trump, you've got to remember it's the racism. Donald Trump doesn't like black people. Simply put, he's a deeply racist person. Not like wearing a Klan hood, but he's this old school, I have biases against people of color. I believe in all the stereotypes at like every single one of them. So he thinks, well, of course, it's a black person. Of course, she's loaded up with drugs. Well, that's what they do. And so, of course, he believes that she should stay in prison. Now, remember, too, Trump is the same guy who, even after the Central Park Five had been exonerated, he took out full-page ads talking about wanting to give them the death penalty. Oh, they must have done something. No, deeply racist person. And finally, spoiled. Oh, she's a potentially spoiled person. How? She worked very hard to get into the WNBA, which, by the way, they don't actually pay people very well. She does not make a lot of money. Okay, she doesn't make a lot of money. Donald Trump is the poster child of being a spoiled person. But let's talk about the arms dealer, Victor Bout. So this is the potential trade. Now, there's a possibility that the Russian government could agree to a prisoner swap Griner for Bout. Now, that's what this is. Putin wants something, obviously, and he's going to use her as a bargaining chip. Okay. Now, we know this because, again, during her trial, Griner's defense had provided proof that she was given medical clearance to use cannabis oil by her physician for chronic pain. And a forensic expert called by her for her defense said the exam of the cartridges used to charge her, quote, does not comply with the law. Griner also testified that her initial questioning by investigators was bungled because the interpreter had failed to translate what she was saying or explain to her what documents she was made to sign. No, this whole thing was set up to benefit Putin. Now, why then would I say, let's go with the swap? Yes, let's give up the arms dealer to Putin. Well, again, I think it's important that we bring this American citizen home. I think she is a victim here. But secondly, the whole argument that, but he's going to get a very dangerous arms dealer. Do you realize the United States is the biggest arms dealer in the world? Do we really have a leg to stand on when it comes to arguing against releasing this arms dealer? When it comes to the amount of weapons the United States supplies to the entire world, including terrorist organizations, by the way, how do you think Al-Qaeda got the weapons they got? I'll give you a hint. It was us. It was the CIA. We gave them the weapons, and we're flooding Ukraine with all these weapons as well. Drop in the ocean. So no, this doesn't bother me at all. If anything, the United States might look at this guy and say, well, he could be potential, competition, but not really. He's got so much. The United States sells so much weapons here. So many weapons. No, what's important here is getting this person back, who is clearly being punished for what the U.S. government is doing. And it is ironic because the arms dealers are making bank selling weapons to the Ukraine, to the Ukrainians. And so I say, look, I don't care about that. Make the trade. Just make the trade. Bring her back home. Free Brittney.